Good afternoon, everybody. I'm your host, Crystal. This is another edition of the 9 o'clock Meltdown podcast. I got tongue-tied. I haven't done this in a little bit. I've been busy doing shows and plays and planning a wedding, but I'm glad to be back. I've got Sergio Mancieri with me here. You've got a cup of coffee. I've got a cup of coffee. We're good to go. Hello, how are you?
Good. How's it going, Crystal?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm glad to be back on the airwaves here, and you're kind of my first guest of the summer, so thank you so much. I'm really
Thanks for having
excited.
me.
Yeah. You and I ended up meeting through a mutual friend of ours and down at Sir Ben's. Turns out that
Yep.
you're a pretty well seasoned musician, and you're kind of kicking the solo thing around right now. Last year, you said that you did how many performances in the 100s?
184, 85, something like that. Yeah.
Nice, nice. And then where do you travel? Do you travel around mainly the Midwest or?
Yeah. So I did Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, South Dakota, Michigan, Illinois. Could 7 states maybe? Yeah.
All right. Awesome,
Yep.
awesome. So how did you start on this venture? I mean, just kind of looking at you, I can tell that you're already kind of a guitar player and a music enthusiast, but how did it all start for you?
So I started playing piano when I was 6. Started playing guitar when I was 10. Saxophone when I was 10. Mandolin around 18 probably. Started singing when I was 20, 21 maybe. So I've kind of, I've always kind of been involved with music for, all my life, I guess, like 20 plus years now. So.
Woof, definitely putting me to shame. Nice, nice. So was that kind of more of a parents kind of doing to keep you busy, or was that of your own volition?
Well, my folks put me in piano lessons because apparently it's good for your brain. I think there's probably some science that could back me up on that. And I kind of just I guess took a shine to it. I took piano lessons for 10 years. And then once I started playing guitar, the piano kind of took a wayside to the guitar. I would play guitar for 8 hours a day when I was like a teenager. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. Good for you. Good for you. I picked up the guitar at 16 and I played it for a whole of probably 10 minutes. Good for you. So you said that singing kind of came on later in life. Was that out necessity that you couldn't necessarily find bands to jam with, or was it kind of just something that kind of gradually came on as time went by?
It was probably necessity. I played in bands when I was younger. Played guitar and saxophone actually in bands too. But I was like, well, I was like, shit. If I'm gonna do this music thing, I need to learn how to sing. You know what I mean? So yeah, I started singing. I took some vocal lessons from a couple different coaches, I guess.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I've been doing it second round for about 5 or 6 years. So.
Fabulous, fabulous. Let's talk about we at Sir Ben's. We were kind of talking about how you weathered the pandemic and things like that. Can we kind of dip into that a little bit more?
Sure.
I know the pandemic was really hard on everybody, on all of us. And if you didn't kind of have one of those mainstay jobs, it kind of took a tumble. Everybody kind of went a little crazy, let's say, just a little stir
Yeah.
crazy, honestly. But how did you weather the pandemic?
Well, I did a bunch of outdoor shows in Iowa in the summer, Iowa and also Wisconsin. Minnesota was, as you know, Minnesota was kind of on lockdown for like a year pretty much.
Yeah.
So I did a bunch of outdoor shows in Iowa and Wisconsin, and I had some money saved up, so that was good. Like before that, but I scraped by. Basically, that was really poor.
Yeah, I think all of us were pretty poor, honestly. So, but no, it sounds like 2021 really kind of turned around for you.
Yeah.
180 shows, you said? That's quite a bit. So do you play every weekend then? Are you kind of more selective about where you go?
It's pretty much every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday these days. Sometimes Thursdays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and Mondays also. So I just kind of like next week I'm doing Wednesday through Sunday, 5 days in a row. You know what I mean? So it's just
Yeah.
kind of. I'm kind of taking whatever I can get right now, which is if it's a Wednesday, that's fine. okay, you know what I mean? Yeah, I gotta work, you know what I mean? So
Right, for sure, for sure. And you had mentioned to me earlier that you kind of turned the whole musician thing into your full-time job, which is absolutely amazing to hear. I cannot tell you how many musicians I've talked to, and it ends up being, their side gig or their side hustle because they need that either part-time job or full-time job to kind of keep themselves going. But it sounds like you've figured it out. You've got the golden ticket. Knock on wood. Yes, definitely, definitely. So how did that kind of come about for you? Was that just something that you said one day you kind of woke up and you're like, all right, let's see how far this goes. Let's see how far I can take it. Or was it kind of a gradual thing of you started doing the quote day job less and less and music became more? How did that pan out?
well, so prior to the pandemic, where I worked in nursing for a couple of years, and I did shows, but not even close to what I'm doing now. And then when COVID hit, I was like, well, so I have a respiratory condition, asthma, and I was like, if I get sick, I'm gonna die. You know what I mean? So I was like, well, fuck it. Let's see if I can make this work. This music thing. And like I said, the first year I mean, as we all were, I was pretty strapped for cash. But then this last year, 2021, and this year, it's ramped up, and I've been able to make it work so far. You know what I mean? So I think I was really fortunate. I mean, not that COVID was fortunate, but I was. It was kind of like the kick in the ass that I needed to like kind of make it work. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, yeah. I know for myself personally, I kind of fall into the trap of, oh, well, I've got to make the paycheck, to pay for my art or to pay for X, Y, and Z and things like that. And, I have tried the whole let's go do art for a living type thing, but honestly, I kind of like getting out of the house and going to work and, then that kind of gets my day going so then I can do art later on in the day. But no, absolutely fabulous to hear. That's absolutely amazing that was kind of the kick that you needed. So how do shows kind of work for you? I mean, do you wait for people to contact you? Do you reach out to them? Is it a two-way street?
So these days, there's some venues are starting to come to me now, which is amazing. That's incredible. Maybe it makes it easy. But usually I send out like 30 or 40 emails a day, every day, but like different spots and like new spots, and just trying to make like network of contacts and stuff. And yeah, so I don't know. It's just kind of like one big hustle, basically.
Yeah, right. And that's the other side of things that people don't often talk about for. I don't even really want to use the word DIY musician because what does that really mean anymore? But for the musician standpoint, I mean, that's the business side of things, that it is a hustle and you've got to put yourself out there constantly. So 40 to 50 emails a day, holy cow. So what do you do? Do you just do like a Google search or do you kind of network off of other people that you've met and things?
Yeah, I usually look for where other folks are playing at, other like touring friends of mine that I know across the Midwest, or I mean, because it's just you can Google say breweries in Michigan or whatever, and you can get like 40 hits on Facebook or Google or whatever, but 7 of them might book shows. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
Gotcha.
if you look at your friends that are playing in Michigan and they're getting shows at these spots consistently, okay, that spot's gonna hopefully book me. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Fabulous. So, yeah, kind of more leaning into the business side of things. You do have a record out as well. At least I found it on iTunes. Anyway.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Any kind of plans to put out any singles or any other EPs, any full-length albums?
I'm probably gonna go in the studio this winter, maybe like late fall, early winter, to record probably a full length, so a 10-song record. It's probably gonna be like a full band record, so it'll be me and then like a bass and drums maybe.
All right. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, excellent. So let's talk about kind of the first album that you put out. Now, did you do that kind of, dare I say, in your living room, or did you hit up a studio for that one?
So there's a studio up in Ely called Birch Bay Studios. My
Mm-hmm.
friend Christopher David Hansen is like the proprietor of that studio. He runs it, and it's his. So he did the recording and the mixing for me. That was done maybe like early November of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
It took about 6 hours, and we did 6 songs, and the songs were dating back almost 10 years up until a couple of years ago.
Wow.
There's a saying you have your whole life to write your first record. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So and I did. I mean, a couple of the songs were written in high school. Some songs were in college. Some songs since being up here in Duluth. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And where do you actually hail from?
So I was born in Duluth,
Okay.
but I lived in Iowa for 17 years. So
Whoa, 17 years. So what was in Iowa besides corn and flat lands?
that's it. No, that's not true. My dad's part of my family is from there. So.
Oh, okay. All right. So family connection then. Yeah, fabulous. Do you have any really Iowa-esque kind of songs in your repertoire? Like whenever I think of Iowa, I mean obviously the cornfields and flatlands, but I almost think of like banjos or something.
No, not really, not really. It didn't. I did not get sort of indoctrinated into Iowa per se.
Maybe that's a good thing because now you're back here in
It's a good
Duluth.
thing.
So
Yeah.
good, good. So you did your first EP in the kind of winter months of 2020. A great way to spend the winter and a pandemic as well. So how has that kind of been received? Have you been getting a lot of traction with that? I know in the past when I've reached out to vendors and things like that on behalf of musician, they want either like a video or professional music or something like that to kind of see what they're getting into. How has that kind of been received? Do you put that out as kind of like your press release to possible vendors and people?
Yeah, it's going really well. It's on the radio right now. I think in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and maybe South Dakota too. I can't remember exactly. We did a video for the title track "Can I," maybe like a year ago.
Okay.
And so for like booking, you send out the link to the Spotify link, the video, and then some of the other performance videos, and then like that kind of like lets places know that hey, this guy is like legitimate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Like he must not suck. You know what I mean? Basically, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, back when we were talking earlier, you had kind of said that playing solo guitar in yourself is kind of out of necessity, but then you also get to pocket the cash as well. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Good.
go ahead.
Oh, it's in my opinion, it's the much more lucrative part of it. You know what I mean? I mean, you got to pay. You got to pay for the guys if you're playing in a 5-piece band. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know.
Right, yeah, yeah. And now, you had mentioned earlier that you did play in bands back in high school and college and things like that. Can we jet back a few years?
Sure.
Perfect, perfect. So what kind of bands did you play in? For some reason, I'm getting kind of a punk ska vibe from you, but maybe I'm totally off.
No, I did like a folk duo. So it was me on guitar, and then he was playing cajon, like the box drum.
Ah, yes.
That was fun. I played in a rock band called Gravity Falls. AC/DC, Zeppelin, that kind of stuff, like hard rock, like classic rock, I guess. And then I played in a blues band. I played saxophone in a blues band in college. So
All right. Saxophone in a blues band. I like it. I like
that was
it.
fun.
Yes. Can we dip into kind of your college days a little bit? So
Sure.
so
I was stoned a lot.
there you go. There's the punk in you. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. Who wasn't stoned in college?
Right, that's right.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Just saying. So saxophone. Usually people don't really look at, the saxophone or even in my case, the flute in kind of with guitars and stuff like that. How did that come to be? I mean, were you playing the saxophone in a hallway and somebody was like, hey, I like what you're doing?
No, how did that happen? My first guitar teacher played with these guys. It was like it wasn't his band per se, but it was like he was like a part of that band. And I went and jammed with him one day on my saxophone, and it went really well. And it kind of stuck for a couple of years. You know what I mean? We did 2 shows around Iowa, and yeah, it was good. It was good. It was loud, bass drums, 2 guitars, 1 saxophone. I mean, it was loud rock and roll music, or blues music, but it was fun. It was a good time.
Yeah. Oh, fabulous. Fabulous. And now you do the solo guitar act. Very cool. Yeah. Very cool. So now, so you've taken singing lessons, guitar lessons, piano lessons, all that jazz, and it's kind of culminated now into your full-time gig. Holy cow. Congratulations. Fabulous. You've got an EP out right now. You're going to go back in the studio later on. Are you going to go hit up the same studio?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Fabulous. Fabulous. Yeah, to flip it kind of more to the business side of things, like you had said earlier, you send out maybe 40, 50 emails a day to get people interested. You've got music videos and performance videos and everything else. You said that a buddy of yours kind of owned the studio. I mean, was there kind of an agreement to that? Did you have to pay for any of the time? How did that shake out, just from the business standpoint?
Yeah, so I put out like a Facebook post maybe like 6 months prior to that, and I was like, hey, I'm looking to record an EP. I don't know what the process is. Somebody help me out, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a bunch of folks got back to me, and I had known about Christopher before that, just from like, periphery of musicians. It was good. We talked on Facebook for a little bit, and it worked out really well. We set a date, and then I went up there and we just did it. And we banged it out in like 6 hours. It took. I brought 2 guitars with me and my vocal mic, and that was it. I mean, he had like really high quality stuff. And it was easy. I mean, it was actually a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. Granted, I mean, I've been playing those songs for a decade now. You know what I mean? So they were kind of polished. And his prices were like really reasonable. I was worried it was going to be I was worried it was going to be really expensive, but it actually wasn't too bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nice. Oh, fabulous. And you're not the only musician to tell me that when you're going to go into a studio, you kind of want to go in with already polished songs because it makes everything that much easier. You don't have to do a lot of takes and a lot of different kind of layering and things like that to make stuff work. And then it kind of ends up being cheaper on the back end as well. So good for you for knowing what you're doing for your very first time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Excellent. So are there any more music videos that are in the works? You've got another record kind of in the works as well. Any music videos, any more kind of live shows here in Duluth? What do you got cooking?
So there's a video in the works for Lucky, which is actually on my first EP currently. Tomorrow night I'm playing in Wadena, Minnesota, at Drastic Measures Brewing Company. Let me think here. Next Thursday, I'm at the Caboose in Minneapolis. I'm in Monroe, Wisconsin at Salmon Brewing Company. Next Saturday, I'm in Anoka at 10K Brewing Company. And next Sunday, I'm in Duluth at Ursa Minor Brewing Company.
All right. Excellent. So you definitely run the gamut. You've got to put a lot of miles on your car, I would imagine.
I do. I
do. Good. You got a good set of wheels, I hope.
I do. It's so I tour in basically a soccer mom van. You know what I mean?
Oh, nice.
No, they're great. I love it. It's great. It's a 2012 Dodge Grand Caravan. When I bought it, it had 104,000 miles on it, and that was probably 2 years ago.
Hmm.
It's got 186 right now, so that's how much I drive.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Do you have any fabulous stories from the road? Anything funny or even maybe scary that you'd be willing to share?
I got accosted once in South Dakota. That was interesting.
Oh,
Nothing happened. It was fine because somebody else came and helped me out. But
okay.
and nothing actually crazy has happened to me so far.
Yes. All right. Wonderful. Where do you want to take touring? Do you want to do kind of like a national tour, or are you pretty content getting to places you can drive to?
I mean, you can drive everywhere, anywhere, technically. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, fair enough.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just want to see if I can grow it. You know what I mean? I want to see if it can grow. I want to see if I can maybe get over to Europe someday and tour over there. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
just trying to see how far I can take it until the wheels fall off, basically. Of my van or my career, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, yeah. But I think you're full steam ahead right now, and yeah, you'll definitely get to Europe. Don't worry.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I have a sixth sense about these things. So you're definitely going to get to Europe.
Thank you.
All right, wonderful. Can we talk a little bit about the music video that you made?
So Jose, Leon, and Kim Leon, husband and wife. I think they live in Two Harbors. Jose is a videographer, fabulous guy, great guy, fabulous photographer, videographer. We did it in 2 sessions. One was by Brighton Beach. That took about, I want to say, like 3 hours maybe the first time, and the second time was kind of like down by Leif Erikson Park, down on the beach down there, and then that took about, I want to say, 6 hours maybe.
Okay.
We did the majority of the shooting the second session. It was good. Kim helped out with placement of cameras and angles and all that kind of stuff, and and he was like the creative mastermind behind everything, and it turned out really well. I think there's close to 3,000 views on it right now on YouTube. I think it's been out for, I think, a little less than a year now. So
All right, you're shooting on up on the YouTube algorithm there. All right, wonderful. And how did you meet Jose? Was that another kind of Facebook shout out, or was that some networking?
How did I meet those guys? I want to say supporters of Twin Ports music in general. So I mean, probably there. I mean, probably just like through knowing people in Duluth and Superior.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly how I met them. About a year and a half ago, Kim did a shoot with me in Two Harbors at the library, maybe something like that. It's called Rails to Radio pop-up shows, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably where I met them first. I was there, probably.
All right, excellent. So networking at its finest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's the other part people don't really see or get a chance to see is that a lot of art and things like that is networking. I mean, that's kind of how you get stuff done. I mean, to your testimony alone, I mean, networking to make your EP, networking to make your music video, and networking to even get gigs. That's absolutely fabulous. So I guess in your experience, how much networking do you do? I mean, is it 90% of the time? Is it 50-50? As I make you laugh. Yeah, I know.
It's less these days because I have connections now. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
Like early on, a couple of years ago, it was definitely. I mean, that was like 90% of the battle was like meeting folks. I mean, it really boils down to who you know. You know what I mean? I mean, truly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably like with any sort of creative endeavor. There's striations of who you know and stuff, and I also have a booking agent that helps a lot too, and she knows folks as well, so that's kind of nice.
Oh, nice, nice. I did not know you had a booking agency. You're already a super professional musician, and why the heck am I even talking to you?
No.
So, how did you meet your booking agent?
She, how that happened? So this was probably December or January before pandemic, so like 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
A friend of mine, Josh White, who I think lives in Superior now. Him and I actually played in a band together a few years back. Dropped my name to her, and she contacted me to come play an open mic in Duluth at Amazing Grace Coffee Shop.
Mm-hmm.
There's Sunday open mics here every Sunday. And by the way, side note, they actually recently started back up, so whoever's listening, go to that.
All right, excellent.
She contacted, she messaged my Facebook page, and I went and played for her, and she liked me, and basically just like took me on as a client. Basically, I mean, it was really kind of like one and done. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was super simple.
Yeah, nice, nice. So you yourself are still doing booking. She's also helping you do booking as well?
Yep, that's
Awesome.
right.
And what is her alias or her business called?
Northern Lights Entertainment.
Northern Lights Entertainment. All right, excellent. And now can people kind of reach out to her or does she usually reach out to them? I mean, if you know.
I honestly can't speak to that. I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Okay, perfect, perfect. I was just seeing if if somebody else is interested, if they're listening, to reach out to her. But very cool, very cool. All right, so you've got a number of shows lined up already, even though summer's halfway over. But sounds like you've got shows lined up until Kingdom Come. You're gonna make a full-length record here this winter. When are you looking at dropping that? Next summer or in the wintertime?
Probably wintertime. Probably like if it's done December, probably like February, something March, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It takes like maybe like a month and a half for everything from start to finish,
Mm-hmm.
mixing, mastering, recording, the whole thing.
Wow.
Takes about or even like 2 months, depending on kind of like how in depth it is.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
there's a couple of like spots in the cities that I like to go to for mastering. And mixing is generally done up in the studio with Chris. But yeah, so I mean, if it's done by December, just November, it'll be out by March, probably like at the latest. So.
Yeah, fabulous, fabulous. And now you had mentioned that you were looking at bringing in some other people on this next record. What are you looking at? Drums, bass, maybe a few horns?
I think I'm probably gonna play instruments myself.
Oh, okay.
Probably just bass and drums, and maybe some like light other percussive stuff, but probably just bass and drums, to be honest with you.
All right, fabulous. Well, I can't wait. I love the EP that you already have out. We'll take a listen to a song here after we close out here. But yeah, so you've got shows coming up, you've got a new record in the works. It sounds like you've got a number of songs brewing in that creative brain of yours. If somebody's interested in reaching out to you, whether to book you for a show or just kind of see what's going on, how can they do that?
Yeah, they can find me. So my Facebook page is Saverio Mansieri Music. My Instagram is at Saverio_Mansieri. And my email is SaverioMansieri@yahoo.com. So.
All right, excellent. Well, Saverio Mansieri, everyone. That is a mouthful of a name, but it's absolutely fabulous. It kind of rolls off the tongue and it's extremely unique. I guess, side question. Did you ever think about going for an alias? I know a lot of people do, for one reason or the other, but were you kind of like, hey, my name's unique enough, let's go for it?
Sev works pretty well. Yeah, like my friends will call me Sev, and my family all calls me Sev, and
So,
I would not be offended by that. You know what I mean?
all right, I like it. I like it. Well, Sev, since we've had a nice, fabulous conversation, do I dare call you that?
You can. That's fun. That's great.
All right. Excellent. Saverio Mansieri, everyone. A Duluth musician, entrepreneur, and all-around great guy extraordinaire. Find him on Facebook and social media. You can find his music on iTunes, Spotify, and I believe Amazon as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it's on all the platforms, actually. Pandora, Apple Music, I mean, everything. So.
All right, wonderful. Well, best of luck to you this summer. Sounds like you've got a lot of good things cooking, and best of luck on the new record. I can hardly wait.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. Thank you for being my first summer interview.
There we go. All right.
All right. Well, have a great day, sir. I will talk to you soon.
Sounds like a plan. Have a good one.
Bye.
A million miles across the sea, a land so free to be. I took off from port with my hands on my head, to crow in the sky and the sun shining red. Hey mister, where you going today? Can I take along before I lose my way? Hey mister, where you going today? Take along before it loses me. About 6 days out, a wave came crashing down. It broke my heart when half the crew drowned. The captain said to me, boy, you gotta learn how to sail before you can go to the land we must reveal. Hey mister, where you going today? Can I take along before I lose my way? Hey mister, where you going today? Get my way and take along before it loses me. We sailed into port, worse for the wear. Half of my clothes I did not wear. The captain said to me, boy, you did good. Now go and find yourself some livelihood. Hey mister, where you going today? Can I take along before I lose my way? Hey mister, where you going today?